Welcome to Chillax episode 12. I'm joined by my co-host as always, Uber. Uber, how you doing, man?
I believe you. Well, one way in which I hate you. I can't believe you just said that I was fucking nearly 50. 49 next birthday. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no.
Next month. Next month, everybody.
Oh,
Gifts will
nice.
be gratefully received.
Well, you'll probably be receiving your free Blood Bowl tea. Or, it
Oh, I
doesn't...
don't know. You've had a good week this week. That's really fucking annoyed me.
Oh, that's good to hear. But if it's not... let's say you do win and you want some Kill Team stuff instead, we can convert that prize over. It doesn't have to be a Blood Bowl team. But, yeah, so tell me about your week. How's it?
I don't know. It was Monday like 5 minutes ago. And now it's Sunday already, and it's nearly Monday already. So I honestly don't know. I've done fuck all hobby, which is really stressing me out. The house is a mess. I did not do well in my 2 games of Blood Bowl. And I haven't got round to playing a game of Fumble yet either. So I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, that scored a fucking awful, like -1.
Ah, okay. Well,
Although my new boss in the new job thinks I'm the fucking bee's knees, so I'll take that as the win for the week.
okay, nice. Well, congrats again on that, bud. I guess we'll start the show with a couple of announcements. So there's been some stuff.
Oh, are you going to tell them about your transition and your surgery?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a bit conflicted with Blood Bowl 2, right? Because part of me really does enjoy it, and then the other part of me feels like I'm getting fisted every time I play it. But which is something that I would normally enjoy, but yeah, I can't quite put my finger on it. So I was exploring the idea earlier in the week of looking at putting together a league on Fumble. The reason I wanted to do that really is it's on the new rule set, and I think personally I prefer the new rules over the old ones now. I think the game's a lot more balanced, and also it's got all the shiny new toys. So you've got like corn and snotlings and all that other crap. So I'm very much enjoying it from that point of view. The games are quick. You can like pause mid-game, if you know what I mean. So like if you get to turn 8 and someone has to go, you can just load the game up at turn 8 the next day or something like that. So there's a lot of benefits. So my initial thought was, right, I'm going to move everyone over onto Fumble, and we'll do that next season. But that kind of goes against a couple of things that we sort of promised at the start of this season. So one was to give you an Eternal League, and it's not really an Eternal League if you just run one season, then bop it on the head. And I'm very aware that some coaches made choices on their teams based on the fact that they'd be stronger next season, so it'd be a bit shitty to do that. And 2, it's a bit unfair from my point of view to just expect everyone to jump over onto a new version. So maybe not too realistic on my part. So gonna hit with a
I think Fumble's not everybody's cup of tea because it is kind of very much 8-bit style graphics as well, isn't it?
Yeah. It's what I've noticed is that people that play Blood Bowl on tabletop, when they go to Fumble, they love it. People that have only played Blood Bowl and Blood Bowl 2 hate it with a passion. And I'll say like the client's fiddly and stuff like that, and you've got to know what you're doing. But it's another thing people tend to be reluctant to is change, not just like in gaming, but just in life in general. So it's understandable.
Underwear and stuff.
Yeah, like, well, why even wear it, to be honest? But yeah, so it's understandable that some players want to stick on Blood Bowl 2, and I think over the past year we've built a really good community, so it would seem really, really daft to just be like, right, well, we're moving on to Fumble, everyone else can piss off kind of thing. So we're going to keep the Eternal League going. I've brought on another admin, which we'll cover in a minute, but the idea is...
Fucking such a douche.
is to have a couple of the guys looking after the Blood Bowl 2 stuff, and then I will try and head up the Fumble stuff. It's a little bit more complicated, so I imagine it would take up a bit more of my time. And I've also got to learn that fucking Fumble code as well, which will be an absolute nightmare. So yeah, we're going to cater to all parties. So we're going to do Fumble League, Blood Bowl 2 League. We're going to still do the Blood Bowl 2 ladder, and we're also going to open up a Fumble ladder as well. So there'll be plenty of opportunities to play, plenty of game systems to play with as well. So hopefully it will cater to everyone, and we can still keep the club going. That brings me on to my next announcement. I was going to try and get the little weirdo here as like a hello, but we've decided to bring on Crespo as our newest admin member. He's going to be doing the majority of the work on Blood Bowl 2, although I've not told him this yet. But he's super keen all the time, so it makes sense to take advantage of his passion. You're yawning. You're tired.
Oh, no, that's him. That's him gobbling cock.
So yeah, just thank you very much, Scott. Really appreciate it, and you're going to be doing way more work than I pitched to you last night. So yeah.
Well, in fairness, I've got no interest in learning how to run Fumble, so I'm quite happy to pick up, some of the heavy lifting on the BB2 side as well. So
thank you.
I'll play in Fumble, but fuck trying to learn shit.
Yeah,
apparently I'm nearly fucking 50. It's not a time to be learning new things.
No, just consolidate. You need to make use of whatever memory cells you have left.
Fuck you.
But no, thanks as well. That's not scripted, so I do appreciate that, Uber. I'll probably lean on that a little bit because if you want things to look nice on Fumble, you have to learn their code. And I actually used to be able to build stuff on it, but this was 10 years ago, and I've forgotten now. So yeah, that's cool.
All right.
So that's all the announcements out the way. Well, actually, I'm going to look to start the Fumble League in January. I don't want to just rush over onto it. I think we need to, the people that haven't played on it need to play on it and get used to the client and team building and stuff like that. So maybe do like something fun over Christmas with it, but we'll see close to the time. And obviously we've only got 2 weeks left now of the main league, and then we're going to go into playoffs. So I think both seasons are probably going to kick off in January, maybe mid-January, but we'll see. So we'll start off with the open ladder. If I go over here, we'll check the leaderboard. You'll see I have deleted all my teams in a massive fit of child rage after rolling some scores last week.
Did you get a dicing?
We'll talk about it. I need to try and be strategic with my complaining so as not to insult my opponent, because my opponent was very nice throughout the whole game. However, Blood Bowl 2 fisted me again. And it wasn't even a bad result, but I felt like I deserved more. Anyway, we'll go on. So Magic, again, the greatest player ever, and also
he's so good.
Massive dong. And
I've heard that, and a very giving lover.
Yeah.
Mad Derek from Around the Bin says it's the best he's had.
Yeah, absolutely. So just, again, to a wonderful human being, just congratulations. And, some people might say that he's not got much ambition, or, he's not trying to challenge himself by playing something that isn't completely overtuned. But do you know what I say to them? I say, shh, because Magic is fucking great. So he's at the top with both of his teams, so he's going to have a choice going into playoffs, which I believe starts in a couple of days for this ladder. So I might try and spam some games today, actually, and see if I can get a team in. I imagine I can. But yeah, that's where we're looking now. Lee's got a team in there. Magic again. Gridbug's got one in there. Big Floor, Crespo. Yeah, so Crespo's actually not qualified at the moment. So mate, you need to get some games.
I've got a team built, so I can always give you a game later.
Yeah. Mrs. is out today, so I'll be playing as much.
Well, surely you'll be masturbating then.
Yeah, loads.
Like a proper grown up.
Look like so much. Anyway, we'll go on to the league. So there's still just a warning. There's still a game to be played. Normally we've been super strict on our round deadlines, but this one has such an impact in the standings. We didn't want to just give someone a free win at this point. So if we take a look through schedule, let's cover off the results first.
Yeah.
Excuse me, got hiccups. So first of all, you've got the Column Bay Brawlers versus the Congenital Hogwarts.
2-2. I understand what you're saying about thinking you should have had more, but you know what? That's not a bad result.
No, it's actually a very good result now that I've calmed down. However, The game itself just felt like an absolute fucking skullfest, as they all do.
Yeah.
But, taking a couple of days away from it, there was some shitty rolls he got as well. What really
Yeah.
tipped me over the edge, right? Managed to force a score at the end of the first half, taking it into 1-1. And I was like, holy shit, I've spent all this time complaining, and I might actually win this. And
Yeah.
even Crazy was like, mate, you're on for a 2-1 here. And I was like, no, I'm not. Let me be miserable. Let me complain. Let me complain. And I did a fucking 8-turn drive and stalled, and it was perfect. And I just walked over turn 16, and I put my guys on the line. He has no rerolls left. He has 1 turn left. I'm literally just like, do I just go make a sandwich at this point? And I'm like, I'll be a bit friendly because I've fucking whinged my ass off this week. What does he get? The fucking extra turn. No.
No.
He gets the extra turn. He takes every fucking vanity block he could. Bear in mind, no rerolls. Doesn't fail a single fucking dice roll for his turn 16. His turn 17 comes around. Again, doesn't fail. My turn 17, I snaked a GFI. So that was fun. I didn't actually get to do anything on that. And then, he throws a couple more vanity blocks, again, with no rerolls, and then decides to just make 5 fucking dodges and 2 GFIs, and doesn't fail any.
Yeah, and aimed for the equaliser. And at that point, your head exploded.
At that point, all my open ladder teams got deleted within about 2 minutes. And then I tried to sell the league on the black market, and no one bought it.
Such a pouty child.
And then, mate, do you know what? I'm owning it. I'm totally okay with it.
Yeah.
And then I went and started playing Fumble and designed a Fumble league. That's how pissed off I was. But I'm okay with it. And, joking aside, obviously Crazy played really, really well. I had a very good run of dice. He had a very good run of dice as well. I lost a key player, I think, to a fucking random one-banger, which was pretty annoying. But then I got my own back on him as well, so I think his team's a bit battered. But yeah, it just shows, right? Crazy is such a fucking good coach. Despite the fact that he got quite heavily outbashed, which was a surprise because I didn't really have a lot of bashy skills. He did really, really fucking well. And great coach, always fun to play against. So yeah, I'll say it now. Thank you for the game, Crazy. Thank you for the game. So 2-2. What were the predictions here? Let me get the scores up before we start. I believe we should be at 19-25 to you. Is that right?
Right. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
We both had predicted a 2-1. Me to you, and you to the Hogwarts. So no points for either of us.
Oh, actually, so it's a blessing in disguise that he scored there, because otherwise I would have been giving you 2 points. Actually, completely happy with that result then.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so Onion Flaps and Yet to be Defined, not played yet. Can you remind us of the predictions we made?
You predicted 2-1 to the Flaps.
Okay, nice. Next,
it's a big game, that one. I know we'll get onto the table, but that's a big game. That's like a 6-point swing.
I'm very tempted to cover it live tonight, but I'll see what I'm doing. Because, to be honest, now that I've calmed down, I do want to try and get a team into the playoffs. So I might see if Scott and a few people are about for some Fumble ladder matches. Okay. Feeling Your Mummy versus High Times in P-Town. I'm going to hand over to my beautiful co-host.
Well, in an extension and perhaps sequel from Fuck Block from last week, this week we're going to say Fuck Dodge. And fuck Edge 3. I just could not pick the fucking ball up again. The concerns that I raised around, even though in effect it was a half a team, half of his team were journeymen and therefore loner. I just could not catch them, and I could not get a block to stick, and could not pick the ball up. Could not stamp on that fucking war dancer for love nor money. That you could not. It was a game of could nots. However, I'm a grown-ass man, so what I didn't do is I didn't flip the table, delete my team, or anything like that. So,
Yeah,
so
very grown, very mature,
yeah, so
elderly.
fuck you. So yeah, it was just a bit of a frustrating game because going into it with all of that journeyman linos against a team that's got some mighty blow, I managed to um, avoid the tree pretty much for all of the second half. I think it rooted on the first block of the second half, so I could just pretty much ignore it and I run around it. I just could not bite a powerful of the money. Um, and he just strung together a couple of good drives. Was able to knock the ball loose with I think it was his strip ball dancer. Managed to get the ball loose, leaping in and dancing around into my cage. I want to say in the first half I received, but I may be misremembering. Um, but yeah, it was just one of those frustrating games. A bit like yours. You just feel that the dice are against you at
Well,
key
let's
moments.
let's not put us in the same boat because one's a 2-2 draw and one is a 2-0 fisting. So let's not group
You
those
with your
together.
Look at you with your big fucking flex now. Now that you've stopped crying and Mummy's put the dummy back in. But yeah, it was just one of those frustrating games that no matter what you do, the dice are just not going to go in your favour. So I'm frustrated. I was hoping that I would have been able to at least squeak a draw, and I actually thought I was going to win it, which is what my prediction was. So no fucking points for me. You had Woody's down for a 1-0 win, so you get a point.
So it's 20-25.
Yep.
Okay, lovely. Next up, we've got Deaton and the Wieners versus the Stonehorn Striders. That's Battlehawks Ogres. 2-0 victory there. It looks like quite a bloody one. Obviously, we'll take a look at the teams shortly. How are the predictions?
Yeah, I need to stop betting against the Norse.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was going to be 1-0 to the Striders, whereas you said it's going to be 2-0 to the Norse. So you pick up 2 points.
It's happening. It's happening.
Don't come just yet, baby.
I
There's
just
more
have.
to come.
I just have. Next up, we've got the Skanks and Soras. So Crespo versus Tin Town Rats, which is Gridbook.
Yeah, that's a really good result for Crespo. I mean, I know he's not a bad coach, despite the fact he's a massive douche, and his team's in a relatively good position.
Yeah.
But Gridbug plays those rats really well.
Yes.
So I'm surprised the score was as low as it was. Yeah, I predicted 3-2 to the rats, so I was way off. Get your tissues to hand because you predicted 2-1 to the lizards. So that's another 2 points to you.
Oh my. Okay. Oh my. So now, now we've got Sirius United versus the 8-point Giants. 1-1 here. The great thing about this whole game, right, before we go any further, is my memory is so bad. Once I've pressed upload, I've forgotten all my picks. So people are coming back to me and be like, "Oh, I can't believe you picked this," and I'm like, "Did I? Is that what I said? I have no idea."
Bit of a surprise. I mean, we've talked about how Clockwork is really, really good with stunty teams. But fucking Sirius it's a solid fucking team he's got there. The Flings haven't really got much in the way of skills, and we talked last week about potentially some of the skills you'd take on Flings, but you don't want a lot of TV bloat on skills because it comes in with all comes off of your chef. So again, for Clockwork, that's a really good score. Particularly good for me, given that I predicted a 1-1.
Nice. I'm assuming I didn't.
You did not. You thought it was going to be 2-0 to Sirius.
Okay, so it's opened up a little bit. I've had a couple of games on Fumble with Clockwork as well, and I've actually got him on comms. Really, really fucking nice guy.
Yeah. It's weird because he says you're a bit of a cunt, so...
That's about right. I wouldn't disagree with that. Okay, next we've got the Zombies versus the Rotting Deadskins. One old draw there again. How'd the predictions go?
I like that. I like that score. I think it's a good one for Lee.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot more representative of him and where his team is. Not that I want to suck his cock any more than I did last week. We both predicted Magic for the win, though, just on the strength of Magic's skill as the best Blood Bowl player in the world,
Because he's so
and
fucking
obviously
good.
because he's with his massive penis, and because he's playing with a team that is without particular burdens that you've got to carry when you're able to pick the best of the bits of every other team.
And
So
don't
we
fail
both predicted
regen for an
Magic for the
entire
win.
season. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We
Okay.
both predicted Magic to the win, so no points. So as it stands, according to my map, you've closed the gap. We're 27 to 24.
Yeah, that's what I've got here now. Obviously, with this game, this evening could be huge. I've picked the flaps. Did I say?
You did. You picked the flaps for a 2-1. I've picked a 1-1 draw.
Oh, I think that's probably the smarter one. But I could end this round 1 point behind, so I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, lovely, lovely. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to look at the leaderboard, because I normally forget to do this and then remember halfway through the next round's matchups. So obviously bear in mind that who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Big Floor, who's sat in 5th, and Mr. Ben, who's in 9th,
Yeah.
need to still play. So we've got the Necro, 1430. Show Me Magic. He's on 8, 2, and 1 now. So a bit of a slide. That record has been dented a little bit. And it's interesting, actually, because I personally thought Necro were a team that would get stronger as the league went on. But it seems that they've had like a really good start. And I don't know if it's mental block or something like that. Or maybe just team order that he's run into. I'm not...
I think Necro they do get better, but they get better quite quickly, whereas a lot of the other teams need longer to get better.
Okay.
So my thoughts, I'm not saying I'm right, but my opinion is Necro with a couple of skills, and basically you're going to be looking, it's your high value pieces that will upskill quicker. So your wolves, your whites, and your ghouls. As they do so, they very quickly can be sprinting away from the opponent on a skill makeup. But other teams then start to catch up a bit slower because you're generally going to be scoring less touchdowns with other teams. And the MVP and the fatality or the injury stuff is such a fucking lottery anyway. So I think Necro got better quite quickly, but other teams are starting to catch them up and are starting to have some things that will counter the strengths of that early to mid-season Necro team.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Magic's such a great coach that he can counter that, and if nothing else, he's got his massive schlong.
Yeah, no, just such a fucking great dude. Yeah, so D10 again. So he had a bit of a slip a bit sooner than Magic, and it was actually around that Magic game. He had a couple of rough results, but he's bounced back really, really well with his Norse. So I'm interested to see how that team's looking. Crespo, got to be the shock of the season. Obviously, being a new player really to Blood Bowl, and a record of 6-4 and only 1 loss is really, really incredible.
And Lizards playing Lizards as well. They're a good. I would suggest they're a good middle order team, but they're not one of they're kind of a tier 2. I wouldn't necessarily think of them as one of the easier to play teams because they do have some real vulnerabilities as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Jazz, after a fucking nightmare start to the season, is now put together a absolutely banging record of 6-1-4, looking pretty good for playoffs, you've got to say. Big Floor with his ogres, 5-2-3. Not bad.
Yeah, I mean, if he wins this game today, he really does possibly cement his playoff place. Although there's still no guarantees, because Mr. Ben, if he wins, he jumps up to kind of joint 5th with Floor. So, I mean, it's an important game for Floor and the Ogres, but it's a really fucking important game for Mr. Ben.
Yeah, we're about at the point in the league where, like, the bottom, everyone from 10 down is out now, I would say. Yeah, even if you get 4. I mean, it depends on the results of the people on the 4 wins, because if it's not going to happen, but Me and Lee have got a ton of draws.
Yeah.
So does Clockwork as well. It's going to be interesting. Obviously, you've got Sirius in its 6, 425. You've got Crazy with his Dark Elves, 425. Mr. Ben, 406. So again, that could be 506. Jumps quite up.
Yeah.
Clockwork, Mr. Stunty, 254. Not bad.
Yeah.
Again, it's just same with myself and Lee. And then
I don't want to talk about it.
Uber's Camry 247, 7 losses that is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then you got Battlehawk, who I believe will be re-rolling his 119 ogres.
Yeah.
I would say though that one was against me, and he absolutely battered the shit out of me. It was fucking horrendous. So yeah, things still looking pretty alive. I think the fact that we're going into the final 2 weeks and it's only now people are being eliminated is actually really cool. I didn't think it would be this close for this long. You usually get a couple of people just like pull away to the point where no one can catch. That only really happened with these two, but everything else, like third to 6, has been really close. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Next week then. So let's have a look at the matchups. So the Combat Brawlers versus Feeling Your Mummy. Should we have a look at your team first? Do you want to take us through? So.
That's what happened. I lost a fucking Guardian as well.
Oh, you can replace it. Oh no, yeah, you can.
Yeah. I can, and I probably will, because why would I not? I was saving for the third re-roll, but given the fact actually I'm going to roll this team, it's kind of irrelevant, so I may as well have the Tomb Guardian. Again, if you look at it on paper, and it was fucking annoying because he was one that I'd managed to. No, he wasn't one of my mighty blows, was he? No, so that wasn't too bad. You look at the spread of skills and they should perform better than they are, which I'm aware doesn't necessarily reflect on me, but I don't think I've done badly with them. It's just the biggest frustration is picking the fucking ball up. In every game, there must have been 1 or 2 times where even with sure hands, because of the low edge stuff, it's been frustrating to not be able to just pick the fucking ball up. So yes, I will definitely throw in the 4th Tomb Guardian. In theory, it's relatively solid, but the decay doesn't help me when you're going to be smashing into me with horns and increasing that chance of putting me on the floor either. So that's a bit of a concern as well.
Well, we'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, no, it's a nice looking team. You'll have obviously 12 players. You'll be at an extra 100 and
about 1,300.
Yeah, just shy of 1,300. Let's have a look at the Combat Brawlers. So we're at 970.
So that's a lot of inducements I'm giving away as well.
I lost a skilled up player last week to a 1 dice banger, which really fucking sucked. But I couldn't afford to re-roll it because I couldn't afford to lose a warrior because it was just a beast. I now have a ball carrier. With sure hands, which might help against you because I know you've got strip ball, but in reality, this is a fucking terrible team. We've had 1 MVP in how many games? 5 games. So I've only actually kept 1 MVP out of 5, which is just so fucking bad. It's one of those things, and this is what really winds me up about Blood Bowl 2. Is it always seems to be the worst outcome consistently. For some coaches, like you have other coaches that will literally not fail regens, always roll really high in their winnings, always get good MVPs, but it seems to be those players consistently. So this team, it's not really stood a chance, losing 2 players in its first game, then another player the next game, then another player the next game.
Yeah.
And I think I've had a death a game. I might have had a death a game. Maybe not, but certainly like missed next games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So 8, I'll be on 11. So that's 180k on top of that 970.
So you still have a couple of, about 200,000 in inducements.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'd do with that, but yeah, I'll have a think about that. But not feeling too hopeful when your whole sort of plan to win the game is this.
Yeah,
It's always going to be rough, but I think having the four Minotaurs now, four warriors now is good.
it helps. Yeah,
If I can roll, if I can roll a 3 on the winnings and get that third re-roll, I'm actually then changing my mind on this team and thinking, well, even though I'm not getting the skills, I've got a couple of SPP. Oh yeah, I got 2 touchdowns on warriors
yeah.
last
So
game,
that's
which was
nice.
good. So they're in MVP range. If I can get that third re-roll and just have a few loners that I can just set up on the LOS to get punched, then maybe this is a
Yeah,
team that's worth taking into next year. But I need some good results from the next 2 games. Otherwise,
yeah,
I don't see a Claw Minotaur being worthy of keeping this team, if you know what I mean. I need more. I
yeah,
need more because he's
yeah,
actually, since he leveled up after the first game, I think,
yeah,
and then he's pretty much got no SPP since then.
yeah.
So yeah, that's game 1. I'll let you predict first.
I think it's 2-1 you.
Do you really think so? I'm gonna say 1-0. I think it's gonna be 1-0.
I think if you've got your 4 warriors, but in effect, that's a match pretty much for my Tomb Guardians.
Except for the
Give or
fact it's
take.
completely not a match in any way,
The way
shape, or form.
I've been running, trust me, it's a fucking match. I just think there's vulnerabilities in outside of my LOS where your beast will just put people on the ground and then decay will make me hurt. So yeah, we'll see. I'll give it my best shot. What I won't do is run crying into the night like some fucking flouncy princess if I lose, because I'm a grown ass man.
Well, you do you, I'll do me.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we've got
I'm
D.
definitely not going to do you. No.
No, you're way too old for me. So you've got D10 versus Mr. Ben. Let's take a look at Deaton's team first. I'm very interested in this because obviously he took a few casualties I saw from the results.
So there's a few miss next games in there.
Yeah, is that a niggle or just a miss next game? Miss next game, that's fine. What's this? -1 movement on a block tackle. That's I would keep him for now. -1 movement here. This guy's got to go, so I believe he's got -1 movement on a
Yeah.
plus movement guy.
So it just balanced out. So he's just expensive now,
He's
isn't he?
just
He's expensive standard piece.
yeah. So I would personally drop him because he's got 170 in the bank as well.
Yeah.
I wonder. Oh no, because you get your linos after this, don't you? Yeah, I think he should sit this game like with his loners, and then next game he should then take a bench because he could be in a situation where he goes in. He's got me the week after, so he's always going to be giving up TV. So there's no real problem with him like sitting on cash either. To be honest, I'm not. I'm just going to get smashed by a Norse team, but he could actually.
I mean, if he rolls well, assuming irrespective of how the result goes, if he does well on winnings, then there's potentially scope for him to bin off and replace that expensive lino and get a third re-roll.
Yeah, there's a lot he can do here. So I would personally sit on that 20k extra TV for this game and see where your winnings take you because he is down an Ulf, although he's got a block dodge one, so a second one would be nice. And if he can at least get some kind of bench going into playoffs, that would be huge because I think that's where Norse fall apart. I've found when I've played them, I always take a bench as soon as I can, and it's really, really valuable. Especially, it's a 50k movement 6 block piece. It's so fucking good. Most teams, that's your blitzer. So it's like,
Yeah. It's just like 110k, 90k, somewhere around that, isn't it? So absolutely. I mean, he's not. I mean, he's 3 players down, but he's not had that. I don't feel he's been victimised by the AV7 and had lots of deaths or perms out of.
Yeah.
He's got a couple there, so But given that the number of bash teams that we've got in this league, he's fared fairly well. So that's reflective of it. He's played them really well as well.
Yeah,
I
fucking
fucking hate that
incredible.
thing.
He's an incredible coach. Like, he really is. Yeah, so this now, he took Garden at first, which I thought was a
Yeah.
mistake. People tend to think like, oh, if I've got a frenzy team, I need guard. So I've been playing a shit ton of Corn, and I've not needed a guard at all, because if you just pick your lines properly, you're okay.
Yeah.
But I guess in some situations, guard's better. I thought Mighty Blow and Claw would have been a better combo for him first off, but he's done it the other way around. This is probably... Do you know what? I'm going to say I think my way is better, but I understand why he's done what he's done. But this is a great piece now.
Yeah. And I think you're right.
Yeah. So he's going
But actually, he does really well with his friends. He doesn't fall into frenzy traps at all.
Yeah. The thing is as well, like people that play with frenzy a lot, they can see the frenzy traps a mile off.
Yeah.
So they can position around it. Like, yeah. I sometimes with Corn, I'll go into a frenzy trap, but I've made the decision that I want to go into that for whatever reason. Ow. Mr. Ben's team, couple of missing players.
Just don't forget we've got a game to come with this team yet. So actually, those missed players.
Oh shit! Yeah.
May well be back for the next team. So it's going to be it's a difficult prediction.
It's Ogres he's playing though. I think this is going to be worse.
Yeah, it could well be worse. It's difficult to comment on where the team's at because we've got this game to play. But coming out of a game against Ogres, you can't imagine it being very good.
Yeah.
I can't see the Norse not winning that. To be honest,
agree.
I'm going 2-0 to the Norse.
Cool. I will go 2-1 then, just to give a bit of variance in there. But yeah, I think the Norse pick that one up.
Yeah.
Next up, we got the Skanks and Soras versus the Hogwarts. So let's look at the Skanks first. So our other Lizards team. So he's got his Crocs in, Mighty Blow block, Mighty Blow block, Mighty Blow, and then block. So he's got really nice Saurus at this point. He's got a movement 5-1, but I don't think that's an issue. Although with 120k in the bank,
I'd bid it out.
Yeah.
I just don't see the point in carrying it if you've got that. He's got 3 rerolls, so he doesn't need the 120 for another reroll. He could buy another reroll should he so desire. But I would look to bin that off, replace, and with winnings, if you lose a Saurus, then will still have enough to replace the Saurus anyway.
Yeah. Then he's got his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skinks, 1 blodge step, which is pretty cool, 1 side step diving tackle, another 1 diving tackle. So yeah, just it's not the most like ingenious list I've ever seen, but it's a really good solid one, and it's probably why he's been able to churn out wins like they're fucking going out of fashion. So yeah, really good solid team there. Who was he playing against? So he's playing the Hogwarts. Let's have a look at these. So I did do some damage. He's still got his Edge 5, which was a pain piece the entire game. He's got both his block Mighty Blow pieces, blodge tackle on this one, blodge on this one, 70k, so he can't really replace any of the blitzers right now. He's got his runner. Is that Hail Mary pass lineman? Interesting. I didn't even notice that in the game. Dodge lineman and then a block lineman as well. So 3 rerolls, a pock though. It's a nice team, and Edge 5 is always really dangerous. But I can see this being 2-0 to the Skanks. It's hard to say that Edge 5 isn't going to score because I literally watched him click the elf and click the end zone, and it just walked through everything.
And that's the reason I'm going 1-1.
Yeah. I think the diving tackle can come into play, so there's a potential that the Edge 5 isn't as good. But yeah, I'm really just preying on that, to be honest with you. Okay, next up we've got Sirius United versus the Onion Flaps. So let's take a look at Sirius United. It's looking good, isn't it? 1490 is a big fat team, and he's got 130k. 2 Blodge
It is,
Wolves.
but as I say, you've got blodging wolves. You've got a couple of mighty blow in there as well.
It's nice.
It's fucking solid. In fairness, you've got some block zombies there for sitting on the line that can just absorb that little bit of damage and not necessarily open up any running channels just yet. And 2 ghouls. Who'd have thought that the ghouls would have been a really good addition to a fucking necro team? If only I could have foreseen it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing
Not,
is as
not
well,
fucking bitter. Not bitter about that at all.
this team is like one big game away from like doubling its team value because it's got
Yeah.
SPP all over the fucking board, and there's like key
Yeah.
positionals, like both those golems. If they do anything in the next game, they level up. So you could have a
Yeah.
block mighty blow one, you could have a stand firm guard one.
Right tackle, maybe.
Yeah, you've got another zombie that's about to level. You've got one wolf that's close to leveling as well. It's a really nice team, and it's peaking at the right time. The only question is, does he make it into playoffs? Because obviously he's in one of the lower down spots. I think he's sat in 6th at the moment with about 4 other people. We need to.
This is going to be again. It's another big game. This, I mean, we talked about it. They're all in effect like 6-point swing games now in that middle table area. So, and this will be another one of them.
Yeah, I'm to be honest, I'm kind of glad that neither of my next 2 games have any impact on who qualifies or not, because Deaton's qualified even if he drops 2 games and you're not.
Yep, thanks.
It's alright. Yeah, really nice Necro team there, and that's against the Onion Flaps, so let's take a look.
Oof. Again, with a game to play, so there may be changes into the team, but unless it's an absolute nightmare, I can't see it.
Yeah, he's not got much in the bank, so he might be down to 14 players if he's unlucky. But yeah, this is a good-looking team. I think this is a dangerous game for the Necro. They don't have any claw. No, they do have claw, but they have no claw mighty. So I know Sirius will throw up hills on those ogres, because why not? I guess the other thing to think about is he has block on nearly every fucking piece on his team. So these Noblars are going to disappear very, very quickly.
Well, they are. He's got block, not a lot of tackle. That's the only issue, isn't it? Against those kind of stunty types, is nailing them down.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm going to pick 1-0 to Sirius. Sirius United.
I've also gone Sirius, but I've gone big. I think it's going to be 3-1.
Okay. Yeah, I know that the Noblars are going to disappear, but it's still 6 ogres, and
it's still 6 ogres, but you've got those 4 fast-paced blodging pieces now with the 2 wolves and the 2 ghouls.
Yeah.
I just don't. I think if he plays smart and avoids the ogres and just bases the ogres up with his block zombies, then he'll just be able to run around them.
I tried that earlier in the season by just basing up with zombies, and I lost 2 zombies a turn. So
yeah,
I've seen how that goes. I'm not confident in that game plan anymore. Next up, this is going to be a really interesting one. Zombies versus High Times. So let's look at Show Me Magic's fantastic, well-built team. I mean,
he's the best.
He's so good. It's got like pretty much everything you'd want, isn't it? Like, so this wolf is. I mean, he's got no mighty blow, which probably which pretty much sucks for him. You think he'd probably have at least. I wonder if that's a factor in why he's not done as well later on, in the fact that he's not got that killer wolf that you would expect at like a 11 games.
I'm not convinced, because actually Mighty Blow's great at taking people off the pitch, but he's got a fucking strip ball tackle blocking wolf is fucking mighty. As I say, for me, it's less about him; it's the other teams have caught up rather than he's done anything wrong. I think he's skilled up as you would expect. Not that I'm saying that it's the easy option, but he's skilled up as you'd expect with those pieces. Mighty Blows. I don't think Mighty Blow's a game winner. I think things like tackle and strip ball are far more likely to win you the game than Mighty Blow.
Yeah, the only thing I'm thinking, right? The games he's struggled are against high armor, high strength pieces. So for me, I think if he had Claw Mighty Blow in this version of Blood Bowl, it is so powerful.
Oh, it is powerful, yeah.
He might have been able to take out 2 ogres in the first half against Big Floor. You never know. So
yeah,
I think that's probably her. It's not like I'm saying this like it's a criticism on Magic. It's not. It's how he's rolled his dice. So he's had all his luck on his regen rolls, which you can't be too upset about. But I think it would be nice to have a Claw Mighty Blow, maybe Dauntless Wolf, and just have him as
Dauntless might help. Yeah,
have him as like a big guy killer would be quite interesting. But,
yeah.
Who is he playing again?
P-Town.
P-Town. I think I've got a display issue. Bear with me.
No, that is how big the team is.
Surely not.
Yeah.
6 players.
Yep.
6.
That's pretty much what I played. That's what I played against, and the rest were journeymen, and yet I still couldn't win.
Did you ever play in the days when journeymen weren't a thing, and if you had 10 players going into a game, you lined up 10 players?
Yes, obviously, because I'm fucking old, as you've quite rightly pointed out, you prick. Yeah.
Wow.
It makes you do that, and we kind of did that last week, and I was like, oh, excellent, he's only got like 6 players, the rest will be journeymen, that'll be easy. No, it fucking isn't.
It's journeymen elves. Anything Edge 4, or, I think Norse journeymen are great as well.
I mean, and he's only got 2 rerolls, so it's not like he's going to be spunking them all over the place anyway.
You don't need rerolls if your team's full of loners.
Yeah, exactly. But what you can do then is you can use your rerolls where they count on your dancers.
Yeah.
It's hard to bet against fucking Magic, though, isn't it? Must be my turn to go first. I'm going to go 2-1 to Magic.
Yeah, I'm going to go something crazy here. I'm going to go 3-0 to Magic.
Cool.
Yeah, not a knock on the high times, but Magic's got what he needs to.
It's a big game for the elves. Even if they can pull a draw, as opposed to losing, then it puts them in real contention for that, staying in that playoff position.
Yeah. I know Magic doesn't need to win this, but he's so competitive. He wants to win every game by as much as possible, so I don't think he'd ever sandbag.
No, absolutely. And I watched that game that he had against the Ogres with the the cast iron Noblars that he just couldn't win. And he kept saying that to himself, I don't need to win this game, I don't need to win this game. But then he continues to play in that style of, I might just win this game. I might just win this game. I agree. I don't think it's in him to not play and safeguard his team. He will always play to win because he's such a great bloke with his massive penis.
Fucking cool dude.
But the flip side to that is, it's one thing to play to win against ogres, or not play to win and play to guide your team against ogres. That threat level isn't the same against the elves anyway. Even if he plays to win and doesn't, I just dice are dice, and you never fucking know. But the risk to his team against the elves is not the same as it was against the ogres.
Yeah, and I can see him going all out trying to get some removals, because this is a game you could get a lot of SPP from.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up we've got the Deadskins versus the Striders. So let's have a look. Lee, 1540. Again, nice looking team still.
Mm-hmm.
Couple of guard, got to break tackle on the mummy, blodge white, blodge tackle. That's going to be a big piece.
Edge 4 Ghoul. It's the best thing ever. Woo! Edge 4 Ghoul.
I wish I had an Edge 4 Ghoul, because then I would never lose a game again.
I mean, it's like all your Christmases have come at once. It's the best thing. I don't understand how he's not winning all the games.
Can you imagine having a ghoul, and then having it with an extra agility?
It, honestly, it would be like sex with two young Swedish twins, women ones, not boys. You keep your little fantasies to yourself. It's a um, he's got lots, he's got some blocking his zombies, he's got a guard in his zombies, he's got those two skellies that give him a little bit more pace. Um, Particularly around on the flanks when it comes to trying to close down running lanes and stuff like that. Um, there's not much more you can. And Lee's no idiot.
Yeah, Lee's a good player.
He looks, but actually, he's not bad.
So next up, we've got the Stonehorn Striders. That's a pretty nasty team. Again, 6 ogres. He's got a mighty. He's got a mighty blow piling on, break tackle, agility
Adds
plus
3. Yeah,
I don't know what the fuck that is. He's got
don't
break
know.
tackle.
I guess that's.
Yes. Oh my god. Block, mighty blow, piling on.
Yeah.
Just nasty shit, really. He's got no cash.
But in fairness, the TVs are not dissimilar, so there's not going to be a massive amount of inducements flying around. I think it possibly gives Hawk Babe, but I don't think there's any more in it than that.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because he's got no cash.
80. Yeah, so 80 in it. So, you're going to get a Babe, but that'll be it.
Yeah. Again, I'll let you go first on this one.
I think it's going to be 1-1, but I don't want to go for another 1-1 draw, so I'm going to give it to Lee 2-1.
Okay. I'll give it to Lee 2-0. I think he's going to win. I think it'll be a really hard match. But I think that block tackle piece is going to be fucking lethal. And just rip through. If he can take out a Noblar or a turn with that, he'll be in really good stand-ins. And then finally...
Well, that's not all about the Noblars. He's got an Edge 3 Ogre. He's got a ball carrier.
Yeah, but Lee knows that plus Edge is terrible, so it's a trap if anything. Yeah. The 8-point Giants versus the Tin Town Rats. So let's look at the Rats first.
Yeah, they're the ones there that says Rats there.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers, bud. So 11 players, 100k in the bank, 1300 TV. Block tackle mighty blow, that's going to be a big piece. Block tackle, so he does have quite a lot of tackle here. He has this absolute beast of a rat ogre that was a real handful to deal with. And he's got a bit of line chaff. So his runner's pretty nice. Sprint, sure feet, sidestep. I'm shocked that we've gone sure feet before block. But I guess if he's just trying to build a pure one-turner and doesn't plan on getting hit, then... I guess.
Yeah.
And I think that's what he gets used as. 9, 10,
Definitely,
11, 12. So you only need to push him one square, don't you? And then he's in one turn. So yeah, pretty nice looking team. He's got his throw with accurate and safe throw. That's a pretty cool option, actually. So yeah, looking pretty nice. 2 rerolls, which I think is actually a bit light on rerolls for a Skaven team.
I'd certainly be saving. That's what that 100k in the bank would be going towards for me. Fatalities notwithstanding, anything but a 1, then you'll be looking at your third reroll, and going into playoffs, that third reroll could well be the difference between winning and losing a game.
Yeah, that's a very good point. So let's take a look at the final team this week, the 8-point Giants.
I made a note. They're at home. The Halflings are playing at home, so Nuffle's Gift is coming into play.
Okay, so it's 390,000 difference, but then
with a discount on your
inducement. It's a Babe, so that's 290. I don't think he can get Morg.
No, I would imagine you'll see Chef and Deeproot, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think that's what he ran against me, but yeah, big looking team. TV's pretty
guard
low.
Guard on the trees is fine. I'm a grab fan on trees, and the elf tree in the first half, the grab on the tree was a real fucking pain because it just couldn't get away from it. He always had somebody to hit. So guard is useful. I think grab is better. But yeah, it's a halfling team with not much going on.
I don't know who to go. Like, I'm generally stumped on this.
How do you bet against them? On paper, the Rats should win it, and easily, but you just don't fucking know.
So I think that Clockwork will definitely score 1 because he's very good with his flings, and they can be difficult to deal with. I'm going to say 2-1 to the Rats because I think that one turner, he's guaranteed a turn 8 score pretty much. Although it will be a little harder with the trees. And then... Yeah.
To a 2. I'm going to treat myself to a 2-2.
Yeah. 2-2 draw. Not bad.
Mm.
Okay, cool. Well, I think that's us done for the week.
I believe so.
It's been a quick one.
Just go back to the table. Just a top 6 point of view.
Yeah.
So, got Magic. We've both got Deaton. I've got Crazy in the top 6.
In third, did you say?
I've got Magic top. I've got Crazy in second place. You've got Crespo.
Okay.
Which is still possible. He's charging well. We've both got Deaton in third place. Sorry, I've got Crazy. Yeah, you've got Bug in fourth. You've got Crazy in fourth. So, you know, as you say, Gridbug's not had the best couple of results. I've got fifth, which is where he's currently sitting.
Yeah.
Got Gridbug in fifth. And I've got Lee in sixth. Well, he's fucked that right up. And you've got Sirius in sixth, which is currently where he's sitting.
So yeah, it could be interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Top 6.
And it looks like with the way the scores have gone last week, unless I have another good week, that top 6 placings. That'd be a crucial.
Your audio keeps cutting out quite a lot. I don't know if it's been...
Oh, sorry.
So we got to like top 6 and then it just ended.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, top 6. I think it's going to be a crucial countdown conundrum because you've closed the gap this week on me on the school predictions, and we've only got 2 weeks to go. So, I think those top 6 placings are going to be what decides who gets to paint what team.
Yeah. It's feeling very much like a Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen race at the moment. I
don't watch that shit. I've got no interest in that as much as football.
So good. It's so good.
No, it's not though, is it?
Football is terrible. Football is fucking terrible. But F1 is the shit.
Ashes soon, mate. It's cricket. It's all about the cricket.
It's never been about the cricket ever. But yeah,
idiot child.
But yeah, thank you very much, Uber. Again, guys, thank you so much for getting all your games played. Apart from you two, Mr. Ben and Big Floor, naughty boys.
They're cunts.
We're going to be setting up the pre-season friendlies and stuff like that over the next couple of weeks, but obviously we need to wait until it's all been finished. Again, we're going to look to run some kind of like fumble thing over Christmas just to get more coaches involved and actually trying it for more than one game. Because it is a bit different. And then, yeah, we'll look to kick everything off in the new year. But yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Uber, for joining me again. And catch you all next week.